natural place. Something is wrong with the human race. Preacher man say it's wonders and signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop up the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in our use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
Good morning again to the listeners of WEFM, and good morning to those who are now joining us for Cup Chat. We are in our Cup Chat segment, and this morning we are discussing the topic Voices from the Frontline Part 5, Policing the Grenadines Division. We have joining us for this discussion Mr. Malcolm Alexander, who is a Sergeant of Police and the NCO in charge of the Beckway Police Station in Port Elizabeth. Ms. Carla Tim, Sergeant of Police, the NCO in charge of the Canoan Police Station, and Mr. Orlando Collins, Sergeant of Police and NCO in charge of the Union Island Police Station. Lady and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right.
How is everybody doing?
For the time being, I'm okay for the time being.
I'm good.
I'm all right.
And how is the Grenadines for Tim and Alexander?
Hey, Grenadines is okay for the time.
Yeah, pretty?
It's quiet. And quiet for the past few days.
Okay.
Well, kind of want to here in the middle.
Okay, could you repeat that, please?
Just kind of going around.
Okay, so you are dipping in and out. I'm not sure if you might need to relocate to because we're not hearing you. It's not consistent.
Okay.
All right. Let's try again.
Right, I'm saying it's in the middle of Carnival in Carnival. So we are a little busy, but we are.
Oh, okay. All right. That sounds better. Okay, great. All right. Collins, is when you reached to Union?
I was transferred to Union Island in June of 2024. So I just got there just shortly before Belfast.
All right, congrats.
All right. So what's Union like? How's Union?
Union is pretty okay for the time being. We have our challenges, but we are making it.
Okay.
So, well, based on the question that Roleza just asked you, I'm assuming that you've been working on St. Vincent for quite some time before you went to the Grenadines.
Yes, please.
So is there a difference between working up here and working in the Grenadines? If so, what is the difference or what are those differences?
Yes, there's a difference, a big difference. On mainland, we have access to pipe running water. In Union Island, we depend on tank water. So the residents in Union Island, they depend on water, rainwater. Suppose of on the mainland, we have readily pipe water. So there's a big difference.
Okay.
Also, the cost of living is very, very, very high down there. As opposed if you buy a pound of chicken up here, it'll be $5 on Union Island, but 46 to $10. So there's a big difference. So the challenge is a bit different for us, moving from one area to the next.
Okay. And Tim, are you from you're also from St. Vincent on mainland itself?
Yes, please, Mom.
So what has that that move been like for you as well? It's interesting when you hear these conversations.
Well, I don't call it about water, but we have got tank here. Yeah.
You're still coming in and out. I'm not sure.
Hear me now?
Okay, let's try again.
It's a little bit different as well as Sergeant Collins is saying. We depend on the rainwater, despite have two salt plants from this well, but
All right, you're still dipping in and out. Uh-oh.
in,
No, let's try again.
I'm saying that it's the same thing as Sergeant Collins is saying.
Mhm.
Same expenses in terms of food. We depend on the rainwater, despite we have the salt water. But I coping with it. I'm coping.
Okay. And Alexander, you from St. Vincent? Alexander? All right,
Yeah,
so
but I have the opportunity to work in Union Island. Sergeant Collins replaced me in Union Island.
okay.
Union Island, Beckway is kind of similar. In relation to Beckway, it's Beckway solely depends on tourism. So the culture in Beckway is slightly different than Union Island in terms of the amount of tourists and foreigners you have to deal with on a daily basis. Because of the tourism destination, I believe Beckway is one of the most expensive places.
Okay.
In terms of buying food or anything, it's very expensive. So normally, what I spoke with the men, and we normally purchase whatever we have to purchase and bring them, avoiding them from the overcasting with the high spending.
Okay.
The only thing what Beckway is the water problem. The dry season, we order water on several occasions. We get there.
All right, interesting to hear. I have another question, but kind of private, so I got our Collins off it. All right.
And in relation to the criminal activity on mainland versus those in the Grenadines, I have to admit that I rarely ever hear or see anything in the news about things happening in the Grenadines. So what is that like?
All
Well,
right.
well, presently at Union Island, we don't have much criminal activity per se. The criminal activity on that island would have ramped up since the passage of Hurricane Beryl, because we had a lot of issues dealing with looting and other offenses, theft of animals and so after the passage of Hurricane Beryl. But other than that, the island is relatively quiet. Other than that,
And in the case of Union, has it gone down? Those incidents, have they gone down?
the incidence of
The
looting,
incidents of right.
yes, they have gone down drastically.
And is it because there are less persons now on the island?
Not necessarily less pursuits, because when Hurricane Beryl passed, there was no form of electricity on the island for quite some time. So pursuits were dependent on using generators, and a lot of pursuits would have left their homes and migrated elsewhere. But now that more pursuits are back at their residence, we have less of that going on.
Okay. Okay. All right. But Tim and Alexander,
Yes, in relation to crimes and criminal activities in Beckway, for this 6 months of the year, the first half of the year, we see a large decrease, a rapid decrease in crime, more than from 2024. And the reason being is that when I came and I take over, I saw there was a lot of burglaries and theft, which was very high. And I spoke with the men at a meeting, and I told them, when we come on the island, work, what we have to do is that we have to go the extra mile. When you go the extra mile, you will get things done. So we bank up on the nightly patrol, the mobile patrols, and I coordinate with the Coast Guard. In recent time, there was a lot of Yeah, breaking. And for last season, we have none. For the first half of the year, we have none. So the court guard coordinate with us. They assist us with the sea patrol. Sometimes one of my guys will go with them and sometimes member. And they do that on a nightly basis. And I get the beach cover. I send personnel and beach patrol nights and any day. So we don't have no serious offenses so far. And the crime rate from last year, the first half of the year, we have 75 crime with 21 arrests. For the first half of the year, we have 35 and 15 arrests. So you see the vast difference in between the crimes. And in burglary for last year, we have 15. For the first half of this year, we only have 3. We have 20 theft last year and 6 this year. So there's a big difference with the police present on the road, on the beach, and on the sea. And that deter personnel from committing their activities.
Okay.
Well,
Sam?
but since of right now, we don't have any serious offenses. In the first half of last year, before burial, I recorded at 25, and we got at 7 in have much moderate. Well, and right now we are since burial because of what transpired. Persons have since left because most of the persons who are working down here is really from main. The person living here is who lives here and belong to the island. So we, in terms of that, during the burial time, we didn't have any crime at all from July come right down to December. No crimes at all because active in terms of the island back. And for the this year, I've only reported 15 crimes, and 7 of those investigations henceforth. So far, in persons and the police officers were there because they when the community was everybody well knitted, so to speak, in the sense that everybody knows somebody. Long as covered, people are so the well knitted community, and anything happen, they tend to call the police and let us know how they deal with it or what the situation is. So in terms of crime for me, there's no up down right now.
Okay. Do you tend to, and in all of the islands, do you tend to hold meetings frequently, let's say, with the community? Because the Grenadines are known for tourism, and everybody, as part of what Tim said, it's a sort of shared responsibility in that if persons recognize that if there's more crime happening on the islands, on the islands, then it can cause a decrease in the tourist arrivals or tourist arrivals. Do you tend to have community meetings or walkabouts within the communities very often to sensitize the persons to know, well, you know what, this is our island and this is also your livelihood?
Okay, we don't have at Union Island. We don't have meetings per se. But what I will do, as you just said, I normally do walkthroughs, and the other NGO normally do walkthroughs. So what we do, we go about, we have conversation with those business people and other community members to get some feedback from them, and then we walk along with them in respect to getting reduction in crimes. So we don't do necessarily meetings, but we do walkthroughs and have conversations with the community.
Okay.
In Beckway, we have regular meetings. Often we have to meet with the local government, which is Mr. Rami Greg, the in charge, administration, Mr. Eddie De Freitas, Dr. Mr. Colin Davis, Custom Jenrica Sergeant, and Action Beckway, Lucille Kozia. All parties work hand in hand, and I believe that's one of the major success that I have. Because we often sit down and strategize how we can move forward and whatever the police need to assist them, which they give us some great assistance. I also want to thank Mr. Clarence Miller, the Deputy Director of Grenadines. Any assistance we need in fighting crimes or anything, he so that gives us the motivation to do the job that we are doing. Currently, I am on the disaster preparedness board for Becky. We have a meeting coming up from the phone. We have some sessions coming up in terms of training, also how to use emergency equipment, etc. And what to do in event of a serious natural disaster. So those meetings coming. We already have a walkthrough in relation to tsunami readiness, which that was a month ago. And things are in place for natural disaster. And there's another meeting coming up with the local government. So the date yet to be announced.
Tim?
Well, within Canaan Island, I don't do walkthrough, but what happened is that the private entities down here, as you know, we have two big resorts down here. These are the persons who call me one on one, and we'll have a discussion. And what happens is that normally that person, or if you see something, thing, so we all have that designated is the person talking to the station, ask sergeant, and they have my number. They called me in case of anything. Well, we know because of Carnival, we have a lot of persons coming into the island from since on Sunday, and we expect today go. But what happened? You know that the island very special. So I want that pick up. It's a person see Carnival rebuild because are very they want to know how it is looking and want to take photographs. It has been improved since and after burial to the private sector. So persons in islands know we have that camaraderie because my office is always open. My door is open to anybody, whether young or old. In respect of that, also I have discussion with the children in terms of themselves, what to look for, and if there's a problem that they need assistance and the parents are not, they could call us or anything like that or speak to me or anything like that. And we have community policing as well because we have auxiliary, we do our patrols, visit workplace, work sites, we visit resorts and all that. Once we have guests on the island, normally themselves and all that everything is safe for them.
What's the relationship like between the police and the public, as well as the stakeholders? Well, I heard Alexander mention the relationship with the police in Beckway, with the local government there. So, for the others, what is your relationship like with the public, with your stakeholders, as well as the foreigners? Because you are more focused on tourism down there, you would interact with foreigners a lot more than your fellow officers up here. So, also, could speak to that.
At Union Island, we have a very good relationship with the public presently. That has since developed since the passage of Hurricane Beryl because we have been mixed and mingled. That has developed a lot. We normally visit the schools, so we have a good relationship with the teachers, the students, and stakeholders on a whole. We normally go about and we have conversations with them. The visitors, we normally interact with them, so we have a good camaraderie with them presently. And we intend to build on that by having conversations daily with them.
For me personally, with the policing and the community out there, we have a good rapport. Is that they could stop us, any of the police officers had to work at the station and ask them any questions. And if some of the officers they might ask a question they don't know the answer, they will say they seek for guidance elsewhere. In terms of the visitors, persons are coming to the island and they want to take pictures of the police in front of the police station, take photographs of the station because as things renovate, because we was one of them that got hit through burial as well. So to renovate it, make it look nice to take photographs and stuff like that. We interact with them because sometimes they come for guidance, they come for direction as to where they want to go. And then sometimes they come and they ask, where can I find a grocery store? Or where can I find this? Where can I find that? So we take the time because a lot of these are in walking distance. So we are so they're building a grocery store, or this is the market we'll go and get purchase, whatever. So we have a community down here very well. Everybody know everybody, and as one person, it's a little bit urgent, but anybody wants a number gets a number. So we have that good camaraderie with the locals here, the persons who are coming in, also the investors. It's just one phone call, and I normally be at the assistance of them and other officers.
Okay. Alexander?
Well, in the past, when I came to Beckwith and I went out patrol in uniform, also something happened. I said no, but they never used to be police patrol in uniform. It's well, it's a different matter now. Everybody do the things different. So going out there patrolling in uniform in the day, that gives you the authority to deal with the public in a more professional manner and also start to believe in the police. Sometimes you go there and say, sir, how things are going? Everything seems quiet for now. Sir, there's a serious man. Is out. And I'm like, afraid to do things. But is that really a serious man? You know? I'm just a serious man in nature. But we still have to get down to society and assist whatever how we can. I think the police and the posting citizens in that way, I believe have a good understanding. Because for solving a lot of the offenses of them, most of the information comes from the public. Because we are posting them on the road. Whether in the night or day and somebody goes, sad, this is how we have no car problem, this is how we happen. And we treat all information confidential. Because up to yesterday, somebody, a gentleman spoke to me and said, sir, you know, me never like to give police information, but this is how we happen. I said, why you never like to give police information? Because police used to carp you me. He said, no, they can't. Exactly what I told him. He said, do those things can happen under my watch. Because we have to consider the danger that you are in. So we have to keep whatever information confidential. I believe the police and the public in Beckwith at the present moment had a good run.
Okay.
Okay, to add to what I would have said earlier in respect to the relationship between the police and the public, what we are doing presently in Union Island as well, we are having conversations. We are going by the various business places and we'll ask how things are going, the churches, the schools, and we have a conversation with them. So we are constantly checking on them to find out if there is any issue. And I think that in itself would have assisted us in building a better relationship with the public in Union Island as well.
Okay. All right. You want to take a break or you want have a question?
Okay.
Have questions?
So ask the question and then
Okay.
we'll take the break. Yeah.
All right. So, what are some of the challenges that y'all face? So now I know that we started off by asking your personal challenges, right, in terms of relocating to the Grenadines itself. But what are some of the biggest challenges that you face in carrying out your duty? Let's say in getting persons to come forward with information in terms of persons going to court, etc. What are some of the biggest challenges that you tend to face?
Right. In Union Island, one of our biggest challenge there is that persons with sittings, and when you speak to them to get the relevant information in form of a statement, they say, officer, may I get involved because I may like the quoting. Right? That is a big issue for us in Union Island. And in many cases, those information that have been withheld from us would have assisted us in solving several crimes in the island. So that is one of our biggest challenge. But we're working on it. We're trying to build a better relationship with the public so that we can get the necessary information without any resistance.
And in your case, though, when persons have to go to court, they have to come to mainland?
Well, presently, yes, because since the passage of Hurricane Beryl, we had a building allocated for court, and that has been damaged. But it's presently under construction. From my knowledge, we're presently looking for another building, and court should resume soonest on the island. So presently, we don't have any court on island presently. All matters are heard on mainland.
And who bears the cost for them to come up?
Unfortunately, the individual itself.
Okay.
Yeah,
so this could also be a challenge as to why.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Alexander?
In Beckway, in terms of challenges with information, we don't have a big problem with that. But the problem that we the challenge, one of the biggest challenges that we have in Beckway, there are some families will call the police in relation to relatives, and they will constantly call the police all over. When the police go, apprehend the person, bring them to the station. Oh, they put them in his cell. Just start to so that you start to them and you let them out. You call against the person misbehaving. So for some instance, you issue injury forms. They will say, we go come and give a statement. You have to go behind them. And they don't want to go to court. But because they do not want to arrest that family member. There's one instance where a family have a gentleman who say he have a mental problem. The community have a problem with him. Most of his family calling every minute. He mashing up with door, that thief money, and this. When you go at night, sometimes you so sometimes we have to go leave the transport and walk and catch him. When you catch him and bring him to my station, the mother calling, no, you don't want the police to come to my station. And I put him in his cell. They said, no, he has a mental problem. So what I did, I notified the hospital, spoke to the doctor, I told them about him, and they said, yes, he came there on several occasions. So I took him there. The doctor assessed him, and the doctor see him that he has mental challenges. So he gave him some medication because he had medication before. The mother called the station, so of course, the police came. The child doctor made him injection, and the boy not crazy, a jump with the funny boy. So when we have cases like these, they put in the us on a spot. You call it, but yet you don't want to do nothing. What's it? So I find that is one of the biggest challenges I have in the
Interesting. That's interesting. All right, Tim?
One of the biggest challenge I have in Canon One is that I've seen over the past year or two the offenses have been committed in terms of wounding persons who are involved in terms of both parties, whether voucher complaints or the defendant. These are persons who are based in mainland. They were working down, they might be working down here, and true to burial, over the situation, burial destruction, they have since moved back into mainland, Kingston, St. Vincent. And when we have court, because we have received court, when we have court now and we're looking for the defendants and the voucher complainants, that seems to be a hurdle. Because the file are being prepared, vetted and everything like that, and went to the court, and now you have court matters, now you have to be adjourned. And sometimes if the defendant here, the defendant for information or location, we can't find out. It's really happy over a matter like the phone out, especially the nature of the offense. And despite all of that really hard for me in terms of that, what happens for persons, we went to look at these persons, where do they be working and where they staying, and these persons are back on the land. So that could be a big hurdle for me right there, back and forth, because the back and forth with all of that seems to be a little pestering at times. But at the end of the day, when you have to do your work, you just got to do your work, right?
All right. All right.
Okay, so we will take a short ad break right here. Listeners, when we come back, you can call us if you have questions for the officers or if you have comments. But for now, we are going to be back shortly.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Dragged on. Excellent length.
50 years ago, the West Indies conquered the world in 1975. Now, in 2025, we honor that legacy with bat, ball, and Caribbean soul. The SVG Emancipation Cricket Festival is here. From July 31st to August 3rd, join us as 4 powerhouse captains. Kesrick Williams, Carlos Brathwaite, Lyndon James, and Jamel Warrican lead the charge. Also meet our legends, Clive Lloyd, Andy Roberts, Collis King, Derek Murray, and Alvin Kalisharan. Cricket legends, emancipation, culture, unity. Celebrate 50 years of greatness where freedom meets the field. The SVG Emancipation Cricket Festival 2025. Legacy, unity, excellence. Follow us on social media at SVG Cricket Festival. This event is powered by the SVG Tourism Authority.
Carifesta is the whole region looking good, and the whole road is runway. It's in the way we walk, it's the way we talk, it's the way we move. We ready for the world, and when we step out and pose just so, it's pure style and fashion. Look away! Come for Carifesta 15 in Barbados. Book your stay now at visitbarbados.org/Carifesta.
Introducing 2 new Instacash games. Yes, 2 more chances to win more money instantly from the National Lotteries Authority. Get the new $2 game, Win It All, where you can win up to $2,500. And there's Stacko Cash for $3 with a top prize of $5,000. Win It All and Stacko Cash, new Instacash games loaded with lots of prizes. Available at all Lotto agents. Instacash, so easy to play, and you can win instantly.
You're out, you're living, you're free. The world is calling, but who's watching your home? Life is about enjoying the moment, not stressing over breakings or suspicious activities. Introducing the My Smart Cam from My Smart Toilet Seat. It's an affordable light bulb socket dual camera that's so easy to install. All you need is Wi-Fi and your smartphone. Get your light socket dual camera equipped with motion tracking, night vision, 2-way audio, and remote monitoring, all from your fingertips. Keep your home and business protected. Don't return to regrets. Secure your peace of mind. Get your My Smart Cam light bulb socket dual camera today. Only at My Smart Toilet Seat, located in the Blue Corner building on Lower Bay Street. Or call us at 457-1703. Quick side note, for a limited time offer, buy a 128GB SD card today and get your free light bulb camera. Hey, hey.
Nothing else sounds as good as
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
Cop Chat. You've got questions for the police? They're here to give you the answers on WEFM 99.9.
The world has become such a cruel place. Something is wrong with the human race. Preacher man say it's wonders and signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in no use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
We are back with our Cup Chat discussion. This morning we are discussing the topic Voices from the Frontline, Part 5, Policing the Grenadines Division. We have in studio Mr. Orlando Collins, Sergeant of Police, and the NCO in charge of the Union Island Police Station, Miss Carla Tim, in charge of the Canwan Police Station, and Mr. Malcolm Alexander in charge of the Beckway Police Station. I see we have a call, so we are going to take the call. Mr. Malcolm Alexander. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Yeah, morning. How y'all doing? Greetings to the police. Yes. So the commissioner visited you guys last week, right? Down in Union.
No. The commissioner hasn't visited Union Island last week. I was on duty for the whole of last week. There was no visit from the commissioner.
Not last week, week before. It would probably be week before. He was down there. I don't know whether in a private capacity or what. But anyway, my friend, there's something I must commend you all about. Now, we are Vincentians who are travelers, and we've been traveling in and out of the country for more than 37 to 38 years. In my coming and going from St. Vincent, living in Stony Ground, growing up in town, most of us make a joke. When we land at the airport and we start to drive and make our way into Kingstown, some of us want to know whether we're in Damascus, Syria, or whether we are in Kingstown. That's the first thing. I'll come to the second one now. In Middle Street, you have the people from Damascus blocking the road all hours of the day. You cannot pass. And like the police don't have no say. And it's been a bothersome thing for a long time. Because the people from Damascus, you have your big 65 or 44 on your waist and you're walking with your shirt half open and think you're a bad man. And you're putting your signs down to block people. People don't want to go in and make them kind of thing. But I'm glad that the man in Brown, I don't know whether he's an inspector or whatever, there's a gentleman in Brown came and let Vincentians know this week. When you see those things blocking up, move them. I think that is one of the best moves that y'all could have put down, because some of us have our little feelings on the inside of how things going. Because I'm going to make it clear, those people do not mix with us.
All right, you have any questions specifically in relation to the topic this morning? Any questions for the officers operating within the Grenadines?
Look, you see, last year, especially the officers and union, they had a hard time, They had a very hard time, and people like us and thing make sure that they were okay. You understand what I'm saying? But they had a hard time working, especially through that galvanizing thing. Remember, I was there for the last 6 months. So I really want no questions. I just want to commend them on reaching where you reach with that parking situation in Kingston. And thanks for the good work you all have done for the time in the Grenadines. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that.
Right.
Okay, so listeners, you can give us a call if you have questions, 457-9997. With that number, you can reach us on WhatsApp. You can also reach us on the landline as well.
All right, so while we wait for calls, as Dianna mentioned, we don't tend to hear a lot of information, let's say, of murders, etc., happening within the Grenadines, right? Maybe little fights and so forth breaking out. Do you think what do you think is the reason for this? Is it that the people in the Grenadines have better conflict resolution skills? They're more close knit? You could answer that after we have a call. All right. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning to the announcers and good morning to the officers.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Right. How you are enjoying working in Union Island? Well, the Grenadines.
How do y'all enjoy working in the Grenadines?
It's not too bad on my part. I've adopted and I've grown to develop a mindset that wherever you're put to work, that you have to work and you have to perform. So it's not really a problem for me, sir.
Tim, I noticed you laughed. Tim?
I was looking for that question earlier. For me personally, it's not really much of a difference because coming from a background where I have to adapt to, I am to get there and I just adjust myself to certain situations.
Okay. Alexander, don't know if you want to chime in quick.
Not really bad. We're different environment because different culture, people have different culture, but you have to adapt to situation.
Okay. All right, caller.
Just about two more questions. You have still received that hard area allowance because I heard somebody complain about the quite after being done there.
Do you also receive hard area allowance?
Yes, sir. We do receive that allowance.
Yes, please.
Okay,
That's it?
definitely, there's nothing in Union Island.
Say that again?
I'm asking if there's not an inspector in charge of the station in Union Island.
If there's an inspector in charge of the station, Union Island,
No, sir, there's not an inspector. I'm the person presently in charge of the Union Island Police Station.
and he's a
Okay,
sergeant.
Yes, sir.
congratulations to you because I remember years gone by, there was there's an inspector who was in charge of the station. So seeing that you are in charge now, hopefully that in the next 2 years or so, you will be the inspector in charge.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm claiming that.
All right, thank you, caller.
Okay, thank you very much for the time.
Welcome, sir.
All right. So remember the phone lines are open. You can call us at 457-9997. But in the meantime, right. So Alexander just mentioned it's a different culture. He used in terms of Beckway. But I think it's a different culture in relation to the Grenadines on a whole. So how do you think this difference in culture has helped to maybe see a reduction in certain crimes as opposed to what we tend to see here on mainland?
Normally in Beckway, yes, most people mostly depend on the southern part of the island, where normally call south side. There's some part of Friendship go back to Patrick Park. The majority of the young guys in that area depends on fishing. So normally in the day they are occupied going to sea, whether diving ponds, catching lobster, and fishing in a hole, because that's what it depends on. And it might be a few might just walk around. But normally during the day, the ports are occupied. So I believe that in a whole get the crime to a level.
Okay. Occupied in the day and too tired to do anything, and so they go and sleep in the nights.
Well, on some occasions when they have parties and things, they will attend. But normally during the day, they are occupied.
Okay. All right.
Yes, and on Union Island, I believe what is contributing to less serious criminal activity on the island is that most of the young men there, they have been doing businesses like you have like taxi operators with boats, and they normally go about and do stuff and so like coke, and they provide services for the tourists. So that in itself is keeping them occupied. So that, I believe that is one of the main contributors to not having more serious crimes on the island, because most of the young men there are occupied doing businesses and providing taxi services and other things on the island.
But in Cain, what happened is that we have a lot of persons who are morally employed at the resorts and the hotels that we have here. So you normally find persons going to work. And like for a weekend and stuff, you might find them like a Friday afternoon. Like this is end of month, a Friday afternoon, they might come on the market square, sit down there, have drinks, friends, play, whatever the case is. But majority of the time down here, most of the persons normally leave the homes at 5, 6 in the morning, go to work. Sometimes they finish at 6, 7, 8 in the night, and they have shift systems. So we're not having the prevalence of crimes like that, because majority of persons on the island presently is working. And true after burying, and the majority of persons who came to St. Vincent from St. Vincent to Cain to work had since gone back up to mainland. So the persons here presently are working individuals, including young fellas who are doing gardening and all that. So that kind of helping us right through.
Okay. It's interesting points y'all are raising there. Very interesting points. Okay. Curious question. Who responds to incidents from Myro? That would be you?
Yes, Union Island deals with any offenses committed in Myro. We deal with Palm Island and Petit St. Vincent as well.
Oh.
So we're responsible for any investigation in those small islands.
And there's a police officer stationed on each of these islands, the other islands?
No, we only have police officers stationed at Union Island and Myro. We don't have any police officers stationed in Palm Island near the Petit St. Vincent.
Okay.
What about the Tobago Keys and Mustique?
The Tobago Keys? Mustique have their own
Security.
yes, and their police officers and Mustique Island as well. Yes, we cover two keys as well. There's a cover two
But
keys as
no,
well.
nobody lives on Tobago Keys.
No, nobody lives there per se,
Right, so that's
but,
why.
yeah.
All right.
When you're going to the Grenadines to work, do you receive some extra training, or you're just, because you are going to be dealing with a lot more outsiders than Vincentians, do you get some sort of training, extra training to do that, or you're just sent with the knowledge that you already have from before?
I guess a customer service.
No, we
training.
don't.
Yeah.
We don't get any extra training per se, but from our standpoint and from our experience, we have gotten training to deal with people on different levels. So we just go along with whatever training we have, and we just adapt to the situation. So when we are confronted with the situation, we assess the situation, and we make the necessary adjustments, and we deal with the situation accordingly. So there's no extra training per se.
I guess Colin spoke for Tim and Alexander, right? Okay. All right, so we're coming down to the final 3 minutes. I don't have a question, Dianna. All right, so we're coming down to the final 3 minutes of this interview. So what we're going to do is allow each of you a minute just to share your final thoughts with us. Send a direct message to the persons on the islands that you're responsible for. Whatever it is that you want to say in your wrap up. We saying ladies first, or what are we doing?
Okay, for Union Island, I would like to say to the person who's at Union Island that we are walking along with you. So continue to walk along with us, and we'll make the environment and the country itself and the island and Union Island safer for persons and visitors coming in. So if you see something, report it. Don't be afraid to report it to the police. We are here to protect and serve you, and we'll continue to do that. So just cooperate with us, and we'll just walk along together.
As for Beckwith, I have to say thanks for the cooperation of the public and the local authorities for the assistance they render to us. I would like them to continue. If they do even a little more to assist for the crime, it will put on the people a little further. And that's for the locals. I just want them to enjoy themselves for the Emancipation Weekend, because we have some activities in Beckwith. The basketball tournament is going to start and open Saturday. We have Cain have Fish Fest Saturday and Sunday. And some small activities by bars. So I just want them to enjoy themselves and stay for the Easter and for the Emancipation Weekend.
Where for the Cain personnel on islands, I just want to let them know that we are here as police officers, as we said, to protect and to serve. And we know that this is a carnival season for Cain. Everyone is invited to the island to participate, because we didn't have any last year because of that. But it's upgraded, and we come out and enjoy their participation. Just support to the locals who are here on the shows, events, and we kind of everything on Sunday afternoon. We have our shows last night with Tequila. Tonight we have Baywatch. Tomorrow is 360. And Saturday, Pop, which is soap water and powder. So we are inviting the locals, and we invited the persons, tourists as well, to come and participate with us, enjoy the culture in Cain, and let us keep it free and safe, and just be good. And as we said, if you see some reports, so we're just giving them thanks, and the police is here to serve. And no matter what, our approach to us at any time and complain to us, this is what we can do it. Just work hand in hand with each other.
And with that, we have come to the end of our interview, our Cup Chat interview. This morning, we were speaking on the topic, Voices from the Frontline Part 5, Policing the Grenadines Division. We had Sergeant Orlando Collins, who is the NCO in charge of the Union Island Police Station, Sergeant Carla Tim, NCO in charge of the Canouan Police Station, and Sergeant Malcolm Alexander, NCO in charge of the Beckway Police Station. Thank you, officers, for joining us. Looking forward to our next Grenadines discussion, if you are still there.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
In